right now, powered by Men's Tea Clinic. It's time to go around the entire NFL and dip into some gridiron gravy. There you go, Fred Davis. You got the long dramatic dip today.
I appreciate that.
Starting off, we've got transactions in the NFL. We joked that the Dolphins are trying to get rid of their entire team pretty much, as they are making salary cap saving moves, including a couple of big names. Tyreek Hill, the most recent as of about half an hour ago, maybe 40 minutes ago or so. They will be releasing Tyreek Hill. He will be an unrestricted free agent for the first time in his NFL career, which is wild to say, as he's been around for a minute now, just trade after trade. Never got to choose his own destination. He's talked about that in the past.
Yeah.
About, like, it would be kind of cool to pick where I'm going to go at some point. But he's going to hit unrestricted free agency while mending a dislocated knee and a torn ACL, that gruesome injury that he suffered. He is on the mend from that, and he will have the chance to pick his team for the first time in his career. $22.8 million in salary cap saving for the Dolphins. And then a name that will be popular among Cowboys fans, Bradley Chubb, the pass rushing linebacker, defensive end. He is going to hit the open market, as they tried to trade him at the deadline this year, didn't get an offer that made sense in their mind, but it was always going to be a divorce because of the way his contract was structured. He had a cap hit north of $30 million for next season, so he was always going to get traded or released. Whatever team traded for him likely would have had to release him or give him an extension to alleviate that massive cap hit anyways. But he's just 29 years old, not even on the wrong side of 30 yet. Still a productive edge rusher in 2025.
He's 29?
Yeah. He's 29, and get this, he had his highest pressure rate, or third highest pressure rate of his career in 2025.
I didn't realize Bradley Chubb's been around that long. Holy Toledo. That's wild.
And he was double teamed on a career high 23.1% of his pass rushes in 2025 as well. So he still commands the attention of a premier pass rusher. Whether or not he is that premier pass rusher that he once was, it's up for debate, but he is showing consistency. He turns 30 in June. He's torn his ACL in both knees during his 8-year NFL career. Releasing Chubb before June 1st will cost the Dolphins roughly $23.8 million in dead cap, while saving them $7.3 million in 2026.
Would you say he's ever been premier, though?
The league definitely thought he was.
Yeah. I mean, I've always thought he's been a good pass rusher, but I mean, I'm looking at his numbers. I mean, I remember when he went to Denver, was drafted there, and I remember, what was it? I think it was John Elway was the GM at the time, and I think he even gave him the number, no, that was Von Miller. I think he gave him number 58 too. But, I mean, Chubb has been good, right? But, I mean, you know, he's only had double-digit sacks twice. I mean, he had 12 as a rookie, and then never did it again until he went to Miami 2 years ago, right? So,
sure.
You know, I guess for the sake of he finished with 8.5 last year. You know, depending upon what you were going to pay him this year, would you roll the dice? Because I know Trey Hendrickson's a name that we've thrown out. We talked about it yesterday. You know, if I had to give you, if I told you right now, Alec Medford, if you had to choose between, you know, if you're keeping George Pickens, and you've got some George Pickens stuff you're going to get to here in just a little bit, but if I told you, all right, you got to choose between Max Crosby, Trey Hendrickson, or Bradley Chubb, given everything you would have to look at money-wise and or picks-wise, you know, Bradley Chubb might be somebody that, dare I say, I don't know that you can necessarily, quote-unquote, get on the cheap, but you can probably get him cheaper than you would Trey Hendrickson.
Oh, absolutely.
You know?
100%. And this is now 2 years removed off of a knee injury. So,
yeah, exactly.
You know, he's bouncing back, like you mentioned, 8.5 sacks in 2025, right off of the knee injury. So you're hoping that maybe he's got his legs beneath him now, an offseason to fully recover in a normal way, get a full training camp in a normal way. He played in all 17 games this season.
He did.
And, he was a team captain, and he won the local media's Good Guy Award.
I mean, come on.
Like, he's a great locker room guy. A lot of guys have always come up, especially his time in Denver. People spoke really highly of him, just character-wise. But
Who would be your good guy here if you had to give one to the Dallas Cowboys? Who would be your good guy award you'd give it to?
Ooh, I know this year was Kenny Clark, wasn't it, who won it this year?
Okay.
I think the impact that he made immediately was awesome.
Yeah.
I would always say, kind of biased because he did the player show this season, but Jake Ferguson. He's really open with the media.
He is.
He was the guy. Like, I remember it was after the Lions lost last year.
Yeah.
That awful game. He was the first person that was like readily available, and he answered every question open and honestly.
That.
And that's when I knew I was like, okay, I'm a Jake Ferguson fan, because everybody else you could tell was visibly upset for obvious reasons. It was a terrible game, but he was the one that would say, yeah, that was awful. Like, that sucked. I've got to be better. Everybody's got to be better. I was like, oh, I appreciate it, with, just a towel on and everything. I was like, giving me the real truth right out of the shower.
I do. Look, you're not wrong about that. I would give good guy awards to Dante Fowler and Jadeveon Clowney, who win, lose, or draw, always. And Dante Fowler, I'm biased because he gave me what I thought was the best quote of the year when asked about the trade deadline. He said, "I don't pay attention to trade deadlines. I'm in this bleep."
I love that.
It was, now look, are we all a little upset because maybe Dante didn't give us the numbers we wanted this year? 100%. However, we'll go ahead and pair that with our boy Jadeveon Clowney, who went above and beyond and ended up leading the team in sacks.
Yeah, Clowney made a huge impact because, one, came in late, and two, I've talked about this a few times now. Whenever like the season ended, we're like, who do we want? Who do we want to go? So on and so forth. I was like, bring Clowney back, because the first day the ink was dry. They didn't have him practice, but the first thing I saw from practice was him coaching up Donovan Ezraku, arm around him, like.
He's
over
a great locker room guy.
No,
he's a great locker room guy, and for what he became or what he's become from where he was at early on in his career in Houston and what he's evolved into, yes, I'm with you. For the right price, I would love to see Jadeveon Clowney back with the Dallas Cowboys.
So there you have it. A couple of big moves made by the Dolphins, and I do think that Bradley Chubb will once again be on the Cowboys' radar, because that would be a phenomenal pass rush.
And real quick, I want to say him and Christian Parker's time overlapped in Denver. So, that being said, let's go ahead and put that on your peripherals, ladies and gentlemen. I could see a situation where new D-line coach, was it Marcus Dixon, I think is the D-line coach, and Christian Parker, I think all three of their times crossed over in Denver. So, don't sleep on Bradley Chubb, and that could potentially give me a 1-year prove-it deal. Now, that's asking a lot at 30 years old, but look, you're not going to give him a fat contract at 30 years old, right? For a guy that, but to your point, though, he's now 2 years removed from a knee injury. We saw what Javonte Williams looked like 2 years removed from a knee injury, so
it just takes time.
It just takes time.
Let him find a little bit of consistency, and really, especially when it comes to those knee injuries, the confidence to just plant your leg again. Once you find that, you're good.
Hey, he has had 19 and a half. And look, I know I said, Premier, I would kind of push back on that a little bit. But, full disclosure, he has had 19 and a half sacks in his last 2 years. Obviously, 2024, as you mentioned, he did not play because of the torn ACL. But 19 and a half sacks in his last 2 full seasons.
And then something to keep an eye out on tomorrow. The franchise tag window opens for the NFL. So look for George Pickens, as was reported, and we've been telling you for probably months now. George Pickens will get the franchise tag. I would expect as a placeholder to try to get a long-term deal done, but some interesting names across the NFL that could be in play as well. Like one team said nobody ever that I'm interested in, the Colts. I want to see if they use the franchise tag, but on who? Daniel Jones, Alec Pierce. I'm intrigued to see what the Colts offseason looks like after that just miracle run before DJ got hurt. So there's going to be a few interesting situations with the franchise tag to watch out for.